Welcome everyone to the all-new 2024 BMW X2 M35i. This is the next generation of the M35i here in the X2, and I have it here for a week to drive it around and see how it is. Let's go take a quick look on the exterior before we go hop on this driving review, because I think the exterior is definitely a large part of the all-new X2's just design philosophy and the whole point of what this vehicle is trying to be nowadays. So here it is in this super bright red paint finish here. We also have the upgraded wheels option here on this particular M2. This one's pretty much fully loaded as you can get it here. And for the 2024 model year, for the second generation of the X2, the design is kind of meant to be this baby X4, baby X6 design, with still retaining some of those signature X2 proportions, which you can actually definitely see just from staring at this three-quarter shot here. Just looking at the door area here and look at the previous X2, the whole window trim and area is very similar, but the whole design is definitely more modern BMW. You have these more aggressive LED lights here. We have a huge grille now with illuminated kidneys. It's definitely really aggressive, and I'll be completely honest, I did not like it too much in the photos, but in person it really does work well. We have M mirrors on this, a little bit some controversial for some diehard M fans, but it is an M product at the end of the day. We also have a nice wing back here, and I think the rear end is the most quirky new part. We have quad tip exhausts. We also have a sportback style rear end now, the M35 badge, and these really cool digital style taillights as well. Let's go hop in and drive this thing though, because it is really fun. Okay guys, so we are inside the BMW X2 M35. So what do we have going on in here? So paddle shifters, of course. There's a 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox in this particular X2 now, instead of the old 8-speed ACN unit. We have this new button style shifter here, which actually, this whole center console piece really well designed. Again, paddle shifters. There's a boost paddle as well on this particular one. We have 3 different drive modes here. So we have comfort, personal, sport, and efficient. This car has such completely different characters in each drive mode. I think Sport's honestly the best one. You can even further configure them by going to the settings and configuring all of these different dynamic parts of the X2, which is really cool. We're gonna start this off in efficient mode actually, because you can squeeze some pretty good MPGs out of this thing. And we have our heads-up display, digital clusters all around us, and around 11-ish horsepower, and less torque actually than the previous generation X2 M35i, which is a little bit unusual. But let's head off. We do have the parking assistance package on this one, and it parks flawlessly. It doesn't seem to work too much without vehicles next to it, which is just odd. As you can see here, we're driving past all these spaces, but what it does have is a fantastic backup assistant. So we just memorized that entire trip we just did. Press backup assistant, and it's now going to make sure we go into reverse gear, and it's going to reverse in that path. So I can do these really complicated like turns and stuff, and it'll actually back out of that path. All you have to do is control the gas and brake pedal. All BMWs do this now, but it's just a really wonderful feature here. You also have spot exit assist as well, and a fantastic panoramic view cameras here. You can check all the different angles here. You can do your 360 view. And I love how the car matches the color of this particular X2 as well. Really nice touch there. Otherwise, not too bad with iDrive 9, pretty good system. We have our drive, we can put it into drive, manual, and S mode for our gearbox, so a few different modes there. And there's a lot of stuff to kind of get used to and play around with in this X2, especially with this dual clutch automatic. Sometimes there's a little bit of lurchiness and some low speed settings, but that's just the characteristics of a dual clutch. You can only tune so much of that out unless there's some electrified assistance really put in there, which this does not have. There are no 48 volt systems in this particular X2 M35. So we're cruising around here in eco or efficiency mode here, and while this may not have a 48 volt mild hybrid system or any sort of hybridized assistance here, it's a very efficient powertrain, and it easily beats the government regulated efficiency numbers as well. I've seen 35 mpg in testing, and you know, on the numbers there it's a little bit lower, and you can definitely do higher if you're not going at higher rates of speed on highway situations, which is really good for this car, while also having great performance. So all these pops and bangs you're hearing right now, believe it or not, are largely through the speakers. It was a little bit disappointing to find that out. When you simply just turn off the iconic sound button, it just kind of fades off into the distance. You do hear a little bit of some real, authentic burbles from that exhaust there, but the raw engine noise, or at least exhaust noise, isn't super loud on the X2. But what is nice and significant on the X2 is the turbo boost sound. Let's also pop our transmission into S here. Here's what it sounds with boost mode on. Really strong brakes as well on the X2. So like I said, a lot of that sound you're hearing on this video is actually pumped in from the iconic sounds. Thankfully, there's a button here that brings you to your drive settings, and you can quickly turn it off like that. So now all that fake engine noise is gone. So what does it sound like without that fake engine noise? I'm gonna put the transmission back in sport to get the most aggressive nature of the X2 I can. So now you can hear how much quieter it is in this interior, right? I'm gonna go through the gears. So instantly, there's a big difference there. So that's one way to kind of tell that, at least I was able to tell that a lot of this engine sound was not truly authentic. But nonetheless, how is the X2 like to drive? Well, it's honestly quite fun. So we are in one of the most aggressive settings you can drive the X2. You can put your dual clutch in sport. Dual clutch in sport, we have our traction off, DSC off, not fully off, and our Powertrain Sport Plus. And I have to say, in these sport modes, the steering is really, really good, actually. I feel a lot of what's going on the front wheels, which I quite like. There's a good amount of feedback as well. All is pretty good here. You know, the engine's responsiveness and power is quite good once you're really in that power band. So anything really over 2,000 RPM, under, I think I would say 5,000, you're really going to be feeling that power kick in, and the torque kicks in really strong. And you have that limited 10-second boost mode as well, if you do want to have a little bit of extra boost to power. I think just over spins the turbo just a little bit. And this dual clutch shifts flawlessly and quickly and very aggressively when you are really on it and in the fun modes. Around town, you know, sometimes you could have that little bit of that dual clutch jerkiness. Sometimes the shifts are so seamless I barely even feel them. And then the amazing thing with the X2 is how quickly you can just change and transform the nature of this vehicle. Pop it right back into personal mode and you're back to just cruising around long. And I think this is a great feature about the X2 is it blends the worlds of technology and that M performance space. So you have all the M performance lineup now. We have these M35 cars, the M40 cars, and then the full M cars, and there's M Competition, CS, CSL, all that fun stuff. All those full M cars are in their own space. Then you have like the 40 series with the B58, the inline 6 turbo. Those are still on that rear wheel drive platform. They got the inline 6, they got that classic formula. They have a lot of power, they're pretty quick, but they're still comfortable and luxurious. This M35 space, I think, was struggling a little bit to kind of find a name for itself, but I think they've really got it now for the 2024 model year in terms of being a technology and design first in aiding a lot of the driving experiences, kind of driving a lot of that driving experience here. So it's a little bit of a different formula here. It's not for everyone, but it's definitely something we're seeing kind of growing a little bit more, and it's more apparent now with this 2024 X2 M35. But there is some understeer you can feel in the X2 M35 every now and then. It's nothing too aggressive, nothing too crazy, but you do kind of feel the transverse front-wheel drive platform roots that this vehicle is built upon, that UKL architecture, which is not a bad thing. It's still very fun, very peppy, you know, very direct and light, but direct steering here, which is really cool, especially in the sport modes. In these comfort modes and the efficiency mode, it gets a little bit too light and too devoid of any kind of feel for me personally. though, which is leading me to drive it in sport mode quite a bit. Power is pretty good. 0 to 60 times you're going to see around the 4.8 to 5-ish second range. Like I said, again, it is heavier than the previous. Really sharp brakes there. And I like how the Powertrain reacts to hard braking. It downshifts for you. It kind of goes into this more aggressive mode here that I really wasn't expecting it to do, which is quite nice. It kind of makes you feel like you're having a little bit more fun, which is cool. And I can't really hate on this too much, because this is exactly what one of its direct competitors is doing, the GLA 35 AMG. It has the exact same thing. There's fake engine noise that you cannot even turn off in that vehicle. And I have to say, this particular car feels way more modern, more high-tech, more design-focused, and really like a true 2024 vehicle than the GLA 35, which we actually just had for testing earlier this year. And I quite like how this drives too versus that vehicle. That was very overly aggressively stiff, like so stiff even in the comfort setting that it kind of shook you a little bit to the core. This has that stiffness in it, but it has a level of comfort, well damped suspension to it that really makes this a much more suitable vehicle for living on a day-to-day basis. And you have all the fantastic digital ecosystem that BMW is offering now that I really do think goes unnoticed, other than this iDrive 9 system, which no longer has a iDrive controller on these entry-level BMWs. And I have to say, it's a little bit, I've experienced some laggy situations here and some CarPlay interruptions now and then, which I have not experienced on iDrive 8.5 or 8. It's generally a good system. So I like what's going on here. It's a unique package. Otherwise, really good experience in here. You have great safety systems all around you, like I mentioned. We have those wonderful driving assistance functions from BMW here. So this one has the Driver Assistance Pro package, which gives you, essentially can drive itself under low traffic speeds with that traffic assistant, and we can select things pretty easily on our menu here. So we can change our distance control, which we are still able to do, but some of the stuff is still pretty much set through the infotainment system. You can see here it even works on some low speed roads over here. We are having steering assist working right now as well, so you can see it's steering itself around that corner, keeping us centered in the lanes. Really nice function to have on one of these more entry-level SUVs. You don't typically see this on a lot of entry-level luxury SUVs unless you kind of opt for these higher packages, which we are kind of seeing here, but the BMW system works so well. I would just go for it anyway. Anyways, guys, once and again, thank you for watching all of my videos, liking, commenting, and subscribing.